Welcome back, my legends, and today I'm going to explain the new Twitter comic called Finding a Path. Now, thanks to one of the writers, Kevin Lee, apparently this is the first issue of 3, and it looks like these comics are going to solely focus on Horizon's journey to try to find a way so she can go back in time to her son Newton and keep her promise. Now, the first panel is kind of interesting because we see that Horizon's having a dream of her being in the lab where Pathfinder's The Truth cinematic happened, where Horizon starts to question why is she not there when Newton and the rest of all the other scientists, as she was able to go back in time, because in season 7 we got messages from apparently future Horizon that said that she was able to go back home to her time, which means that she should have been there trying to save the Outlands with the rest of the group, but she's not. And without getting too complicated in the timeline matter, this probably makes Horizon worried that she can't go to the past unlike her future self. And then out of nowhere, Lillian Peck, the person that's responsible for building Olympus and also Newton's godmother, appears out of nowhere trying to encourage Horizon that she's never alone. Basically the opposite of what Flash did when he went from the future to the past to warn Batman. Lillian went from the past to the future to encourage Horizon, if that makes any sense at all. And so in the next panel we see that Horizon wakes up and goes to Pathfinder to ask him questions if he ever saw her back in the past, because again, if she went back to the past, that means that she should have been there when the group was building Pathfinder, which Pathfinder said unfortunately no, he's never seen her there. And then we get something interesting from Pathfinder where he says that there is a possibility that Horizon's son Newton survived because his body was never found or recovered. Now in the Pathfinder's quest book, what happened is that Ashley Reed said that she took care of Newton Summers. Now out of context it seems like maybe Ash killed Newton, but I don't think so, because in the Horizon cinematic we see that Newton is able to grow up with a family, have kids, and eventually died of old age. Also, Newton Summers considered Ashley Reed a really good friend of his, so I have a feeling that Ashley Reed did spare Newton's life, but I guess we'll find that out later on. And so what happens next is that Pathfinder kind of considers the possibility that by Horizon going back to the past, she's the reason why Newton Summers dies. And then what happens is that Horizon has a flashback about what happened before she left to the event Horizon, and that she was gutted that she was going to leave Newton all alone, and she asked Lillian Peck if she could take care of Newton while she was away. Now this is very interesting because I feel like Ashley Reed got a bit annoyed by Horizon telling Lillian instead of her, because it seems like, you know, Ashley has been taking care of Newton, and yet when she was about to go away she asked Lillian Peck instead of her. And that's when Lillian Peck said that yeah, she'll protect Newton Summers, but then Newton said who'll protect his mom, and that's where it looks like Ashley Reed came with the idea of helping Horizon retrieve the Brantium crystal. And so they made a deal, and that's where Lillian Peck said, "You're never alone," which is a reference to what Ash said in the season 9 comics where she was talking to Horizon, basically kind of confirming that Ash did knew Lillian Peck, and thanks to the help of Pathfinder, he kind of made the connection that back then in the season 5 comics, they rebuilt Ash to get the Olympus access codes that only Lillian Peck knew of. Now in the next scene, this is kind of confusing. I don't know why Horizon went to King's Canyon. Maybe they were just having the games there, so she went to investigate the place where we put Ash's head back in her body, and that's where she met Revenant, and Revenant was not too happy to see her. And so what is going to happen, my legend? It's very simple. This whole story is going to be a big build up for Horizon to learn the truth that Ash is indeed Ashley Reed, her former apprentice that betrayed her and made her get stuck in the future. And so yeah, my legends, that's what it looks like the comics are building up to. I'll see you next time. Peace.